Hi guys, are you someone who wants to build a career in tech but don't want to just focus on coding, want to try other things as well? Well, then in this video you will understand top 5 career options that you can build if you want to get into tech. So without further ado, let's get going. But before we do, quick introductions. Hi, my name is Aarushi and welcome to this channel. In this channel we talk about all things tech, product and general career adulting. I have about 7 years of experience building tech products. I was a developer, then I did my MBA, turned marketeer, turned product manager, and now creating content as well, along with my main gig of being a product manager in an e-commerce company. In this channel, I try to bring a little bit of humor to your everyday challenges at work, and I hope to be the mentor that I wanted when I was younger. So with that, let's get going. So like I said before, 5 career options that you can get if you want to build a career in the tech field. Now, I will also talk about the career options, what does it take to get into them, and then how can you apply. So wait for a very cool tip that will come towards the end of the video, and let's get going. We'll start with the first one, and drum rolls. Yes, product manager. That must not be a surprise. Obviously, I'm a product manager. I'm a big proponent of product managers. And why is that? Well, product managers require some cool skills. But before I talk about the skills, let me just give you a quick one about what the job entails. I have done another video which is above on what a product manager does. That's a more detailed one. But just quickly, if I can tell you on this one, a product manager is basically like your mother is at your house when she doesn't know exactly how to do finances, or she doesn't know exactly how to cook. Maybe she'll have help do all of that for her, but she'll be the one managing it all. She'll be the one making sure that the food gets cooked on time, the dinner's on the table, and so on and so forth. So your product manager might or might not know the core skill, but he'll be the one making sure that things get delivered on time. He's the one monitoring it all. Now it sounds like, I don't know what it sounds like. To some people it sounds exciting, to some people it sounds like I don't know what that is. But a day-to-day for product manager, it's a very rewarding piece, because you see your work, the impact of your decisions come out in the form of metrics, movement, in the form of customers' happiness, day in and day out. So there's nothing better than that. So that's a product manager, and I know you still don't understand a lot about it by what I said, but refer to the video later. First, let's go through this one. So product manager is one of the most focused upon role in the world of tech. You're like a manager, you're a business person, but you also understand tech, so you're like somewhat of a conduit. And this role is kind of a jack of all trades kind of a role. So you have to be good at understanding or speaking with tech. You need to be good at user empathy. You need to be decent at user experience or UI. You need to understand data analytics, you need to be business savvy. So it's a lot of skills, but you don't need to be master of any. That's the good news. You can just be a jack of them and you'll be fine. So if you're someone who's a quick learner, if you're someone who's logical in their thinking process, and if you're someone who just wants to hustle, loves to hustle, well, then get into product. One thing with product is that you'll not have a lot of people management ever. Like, I'm a senior product manager and I don't have like tens of people reporting to me. That will never really happen, because product is mostly a lean organization, and till about senior positions you continue to be an individual contributor or an IC. But if you see yourself to be someone who wants to lead people, wants to be in a people management position, well, then product might not be for you. So having said that, those were the skills, that is the job role, and product management was the first one that we wanted to talk about. Coming to the second one, and that is obviously development. No points of guessing that. Obviously a programmer's role is one of the most critical ones. Those are one of the most highly paid people in a tech company, and rightly so, because those are the guys who build things. So there are 2-3 kinds of developers. One is a front-end developer, the other is a back-end developer, and the third is a full-stack developer who basically does it all. Product manager, but one who knows how to code. Oh man. But anyway, the front-end developers would code maybe for the app or for the website, so that the UI, the experience, if you click on a button, the way it responds, the way an animation would load, and so on and so forth, that entire experience, those guys curate it. The backend guys think of the logic, they think of the algorithm. Let me give you an example. Let's say I'm a product manager in ads, and I have asked my engineering team to build up an ad relevance algorithm. Now this algorithm will make sure that the ads that the user sees are relevant to them and they get better clicks. Now the front end guys here, their job might be to make sure that the ad experience, whenever the ad pops up, it's so seamless that it doesn't look out of the place. That's the front end guy. That's the work that he will do. The interactions that the user will have with the ad, they'll make them so seamless that it doesn't look out of place. But the backend guy will figure out a relevance algorithm that will make sure that the ad is as relevant as it can possibly be to me. It'll probably think about what is the kind of shopping that Aarushi is doing at the e-commerce website, or the kind of person she is, given that she's a woman, she's of this age, and so on and so forth. So basis on whatever criteria, it'll figure out a ad relevance logic and show the ads as per that to me. That's the backend guy. Like I said, a full stack guy would probably do a little bit of both. So the kind of technologies that you'll need to learn for both of these backend and front-end roles will be different. Backend usually goes, right now it's going on either Golang or there's Python. That's the kind of languages that are currently being used in the market. Front-end would be native app development, so you might have Android, iOS. So that's the front end domain. Obviously, you'll have web development as well over there. So those are the skills that you'll have to learn. Now the developer profile is a very hard skill role. You'll have to genuinely learn how to code, which is not something you can learn overnight. You'll have to do a few courses, but the good thing there is it's a proper hard skill. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. So you can do a few courses, you can learn a few languages, pick up any language that makes sense to you, and go through that. A lot of times engineers are, developers are computer science engineers, but it's not always necessary. Sometimes people, after they passed out of their graduation, learn languages and get into coding. So that's also okay. And although I don't think I think so, but at times people find it easier to get into front-end coding before, so you can start with front-end development and then later move into back-end. So that's another thing that you could probably think about. So those are the kind of skills that you need for development, and like I said, it's one of the better paid jobs and it's one of the most important ones as well. So I think if you can learn how to code, go for it. Please go for it. The only thing with development is that you wouldn't I think things are changing a little bit at this point, but even now a developer stays a little bit behind the scenes. They wouldn't be the ones deciding what to build, they'll be the ones deciding how to build and so on. So if those are the kind of questions you like to solve, if you're a logical thinker, you like to do your research, figure out how to solve something, then by all means go for it. But if you're someone like me who wants to be in the forefront, needs to decide what to build but not how to build, well, then you might not find it as much fun. So make that decision for yourself. Coming to the third profile, and that is analyst. Yes, analysts, they are sort of like an entry-level position, but not always. You start with a product analyst or a business analyst, and then you could either get into product management or business development and so on and so forth. However, there are legit data teams as well in organizations where you can become a VP of data sciences as well, and you can probably join that team as an analyst. So it's not that the data team is just always an entry-level job. In a lot of companies it is, but not in all. For example, in ads, I genuinely want to build a team which is focused on data and data sciences, and a lot of ads companies have them because ads are usually data heavy as a business. So it depends on what kind of organization you're going for, what kind of role you're going for, but it could be long or a short term. Now, an analyst's job is to look at data and figure out patterns, figure out inferences. So if I am a product manager and I tell my analyst to look at the funnel or the conversion numbers for my product, they might be the one who actually pull things out. Now, an analyst should know that where data will perform weirdly, what are the cases they should look out for. Like there's a little bit of skill that goes into it. But as someone who wants to enter that role, you wouldn't need to know everything upfront. All you need to know is, again, it's a very hard skill kind of a thing. You probably need to know Excel or SQL, one of those querying languages, and a little bit about regression modeling and so on. So it's not as hard as learning to code, but it's a little bit of a learning curve there as well. You can do a few courses again and again. It's something, if you know it, you know it. If you don't know it, you don't know it. Plus, the other thing with analyst profile is that you don't need to have a lot of soft skills initially. You can always build them up. You don't need to have a lot of business understanding also initially. You can always build that up. The only thing you need is your hard skill of Excel and SQL, maybe a little bit of logical thinking, analytical thinking, and that's it. So if you're someone who has some time at hand, who can learn a few hard skills, I would say go for the analytics role. It's a great way to enter into the world of tech, and then you can choose. It's your oyster. If you want to go into business development or product development or product management or data sciences itself, you can choose whatever you want. I actually do love the analyst role. It's the person who's closest to the data has the maximum power because they are the ones guiding people. If you are an analyst and then you become a product manager, I think there can be no one stronger than you. So anyway, I would suggest analyst as a great entry level role for product managers as well. Now coming to the fourth profile, and that is marketeers. Yes, marketeers are, digital marketing is is blowing up. I mean, and it keeps changing all the time. With the advent of AI, the copywriting part of digital marketing is kind of sorted, but now there's a lot of focus on the programmatic aspect of it. Now, I've used a lot of terms here. Let me cut to the chase. Let me simplify it for you. So marketer's job is to, I mean, remember the olden days when you used to switch on the TV and you used to see an ad? Well, a marketer's job was to design the ad back then, but now in the world of digital, a marketer's job is to figure out if I should do the ad on Facebook or on Twitter or on Meta or on Snapchat or on the TV or on the road or on the billboard. So the number of channels have gone up. To figure out which channel works best, they'll likely do a little bit of a math of understanding the cost of acquisition, how is the ROI, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of math that goes into marketing, and then there's the art of it. There's the content writing of it. There's the understanding of your market, knowing what is it that your users truly value about your product and making sure that they understand from your copy, from your content. So there's an art and a science both to marketing. The art of it, which is the content writing, is somewhat at least not solved but helped through AI, so that the load of that part is kind of reduced. But the science of it has become even more important at this point in time. There's so many channels, there's so many people selling you ads that you have to figure out what works best for you, and you have to be shrewd at that, because you are spending dollars to get some returns. If you're not shrewd about where you're spending your dollars, where you're spending your marketing money, well, you may be a bad marketing manager in that sense. So that's the kind of job. Now, the kind of skills it requires, I think anything, you would notice that there's a clear theme. If you want to work in tech, you have to be a little bit of an analytical thinker and logical thinker. That goes without saying. But marketing is one role which is a little bit more creative, and it again has a big learning curve. You have to understand each channel, what works, what doesn't work. But if you're someone who wants to enter as a marketeer, then you don't need to have again big degrees, but you should do a few courses on digital marketing, understand how Google ads works, how Amazon ads works, how Meta ads work, basic understanding of key terms. There are a lot of terms there as well, CPC, CPM, there's a lot of things to learn. If you want me to do a video about that, comment on the section, I will do another one. But anyway, so there are a lot of things to learn, so it would help you to do a few certifications that Google also has about doing ads, so that you are able to speak in the language of the interviewer, but after that you learn the rest at the job. But enter soon. The later you enter, the harder it becomes to get into digital marketing, but otherwise I think it's a very prominent, it's very upcoming, and it's never going away, because as we continue in the AI journey or in the Web3 journey, we'll still have ads. They're not going anywhere. We'll still need marketeers to market things. So that's a digital marketeer's role. And finally, coming to the fifth and the last one, and that is operations. Yes, my friend, operations people are still needed in any tech company. Let me give you an example. Let's say I work at Airbnb, I'm product manager there, blah, 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 all great. But Airbnb would still have operations people who might be the ones going out to, people, asking them to, put their properties on the platform. There'll be people who will be helping out property owners, maybe set up cleaning at their place, regular cleaning systems, or setting up allied businesses for Airbnb, maybe the experiences arm that Airbnb has, running that for Airbnb. So, or let me give another example, Uber. Now, Uber, although is a completely product-led business, but there are teams, there are city teams that basically help onboard the drivers, help with their training, with their incentivization, and so on and so forth. So there'll be a set of people who'll be working with the people part of your business. Again, another example, if I'm a food delivery app, there'll be a set of people who'll be working with the delivery agents, helping them improve their performance, helping them train themselves, and so on and so forth. So you'll always need a set of operations people to run your day-to-day. Now this role will not be present maybe in the Google of the world, but then Google will have a sales team. So the operations team might be changed with sales team in some org, which are more heavily tech, but there'll be another team which is not exactly doing problem solvings in the tech domain, but they'll be the ones actually running the business, running the show, be closest to the ground. So that's the operations / sales teams. That's another way where you can get in, because you don't need very clear technical skills there, but you need to be a hustler. You need to be someone who can get things done. You will have a lot of people management here as well. And if you're doing sales, then sales itself is another art in itself, the ability to sell. So again, it's a bit of a people management or people skill that is required in these domains, and it requires you to hustle a lot, but it's rewarding, because you, my friend, are actually getting the business run at the end of the day. So it's a lot of fun, and I think if you're getting in, it's a great place to also just get in and see how the world works, and then you can again choose. It's like the analyst role. It's another entry level role. You can get in, see how it works, build a reputation for yourself, and then maybe do an internal transfer to some other role that you find more useful. So my friend, these were the 5 roles that are available in the world of tech, and now you tell me which one do you find the best. And if you want me to do follow-up videos in any of the roles, I have done a lot on product management, but I do understand a lot about marketing, analytics, development, and operations as well, because I've done a lot of these roles. I was a marketeer before, I was a developer before, I work in ads, so I also understand a lot about digital marketing, and obviously I've done a lot of analytics myself. I have not been in operations, but I work in and day out with operations folks, so I understand their role a lot more. So if there's anything you want me to tell you, please answer on the section below, and I'll be happy to answer you. So with that, we call it a day, and I'll see you next time. Ta-da!